What is going on YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. I'm back here with another beat breakdown video just for y'all today. Before I get into that, I want to send a special shout out and special thank you to everybody who's been supporting me. My first 3 beat breakdown videos have gotten over 100 views, and that may seem small to some, but for me that means a lot. So I really love doing what I do, and I really love sharing it with everybody. So thank you, big thank you. I can't wait to go up from there. So anything else, let's get into this video. Before I get into the actual beat breakdown portion of the video, I wanted to get into something else. A little bit of music theory. I know, music theory, no one likes it, but you know, it's very important, I would say, and it definitely does help out. Granted, you don't necessarily need it to start, making music, but it does help in the long run. Now, one of the most basic aspects of it that I think all producers should learn early on when they're first trying to figure it out is making chords and being able to differentiate between a major and a minor chord. I know when I first started, I had the hardest time trying to figure it out, probably because I was trying to do all this extra complicated advanced techniques, like trying to chop samples like Kanye or The Alchemist. Instead of actually focus on building a good foundation and learning the basics. So that's what I want this video to be about, is how to simply be able to make a chord and how to identify the difference between a major and a minor. So let's get right into it. So I know music theory might seem a little daunting, might sound a little complicated at times, but chords, I believe, is one of the most basic and one of the most easier things to do when it comes to making beats. And once you understand how to build a chord and can tell the difference between a major and a minor, it makes your workflow a whole lot faster. So that's what I'm about to show you. So what I'm about to do is just open up a quick instance of FL keys, just a quick stock plugin for FL, and I'm gonna show you how to build a minor chord. So open up the piano roll, and then whatever note, doesn't matter what note, just throw a note down. Then you're going to skip 2 notes. Skip this one, skip the next one, and then lay the 3rd one down on the 3rd note. Then after you laid that 2nd note down on the 3rd note, you're gonna skip 3 notes. Going up. 1, 2, 3. Fucked it up. And there you have a minor note. You have a minor chord right there. It's gonna sound good every single time if you lay chords down like that. A quick, easy way that I figured out how to remember how to make a minor chord is think 2, 3. I think 23. Okay, what I think when I hear 23, I think Michael Jordan. So that's how I was able to remember a minor chord and how to put it together. 2, 3. Then from here, you can also keep building up. Just keep skipping 2 and skip 3. Then it will always sound good. It may sound a bit crazy depending on how high you go up, but it'll sound good nonetheless because it will be the right chord and it should be within the scale. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is how to make a major chord. The next chord I'm going to show you is how to make a major chord. So same thing, you're going to pick whatever note you want to start out with, throw it down. But this time, instead of skipping 2 notes going up, you're going to skip 3 notes. So skip 1, 2, 3, throw a nut down. Then you're going to skip 2 notes after that. 1, 2, throw a note down. See? Now you have a triad. So you skip 3 notes, lay a note down, then you skip 2 notes, lay a note down. Now, an interesting way that I was able to remember how to make a major chord and how to differentiate between a major and a minor was thanks to Crime Mob. Now, anybody who's around my age, a little bit older, they'll recognize the song Rock Your Hips. Now I got 32 flavors of that bootylicious bubblegum. I'm not gonna sing the rest because I'm not trying to get copyright, and y'all get the point. Same thing, you can keep on building up upon those notes. Sounds good. Now, the higher you go, the different type of chords you make. You'll end up making a 7th chord, or you'll make a 9th or 12th or 13th. I believe it goes that high. And that's simply how you make chords and how you differentiate the two between a major and a minor chord. Now I want to show you how I applied it into an actual beat that I made. So this is from a beat that I did a while back, around the time Drake was dropping his Certified Lover Boy album. This one is a beat that I called Back and Forth. The link will be down in the description down below, and it should pop up somewhere on the screen about how to find this beat. So this one, I just started off with making a major chord, went to a minor chord, major chord, minor chord, and then added some variation to it. Very simple. Like I was saying, once you know how to make chords, it makes beat making and makes your process and workflow a whole lot better and a whole lot faster as well. So I highly recommend, and I urge you all, if you're starting off, don't try to figure out all the complicated techniques. Start with the basics. Start with trying to figure out how to make a chord first. Trust me, it will help you in the long end. The next thing I did after making the chords, I strummed them. I copied these bass notes, duplicated them, and I just pushed them down an octave. That's what came up with these notes down here. Then after doing that, what I typically always do for my piano sounds, I always roll out the low end, just because most pianos, they always have a lot of low end, a lot of bass, and a lot of rumble that interferes with every other sound that has a lot of low end on your beat. So I would recommend just taking out the low end just to get rid of all that. Also, what I did, went to the Effect Rack VXT, added the large Lush Verb preset, turned down the output just a little bit, not too much. Then I went to the RC20 Retro Color, went to the Vinyl 2 preset, lowered the noise, the wobble, and turned up the distortion. The next thing that I did was I just added some top notes to go along with the already built chords that I already had laid out. Next, I just send it to the same mixer channel, just so it would have the same effects on it, so it wouldn't have any other issues interfering with any of the other sound. The next thing that I did was I went to the VST Arcade. If you have Arcade, you already know they upload a whole bunch of different sounds, banks, presets, almost every day if I'm not mistaken, and they're pretty good. We're having a lot of vocal chops, which y'all know I love adding vocal samples, chops into my beats. It just makes everything sound better. And for a Drake type of beat, it fits right in. That's what he typically uses in a lot of his beats as well. So I went to the Distant Voices bank and went to the Forevermore preset, and this is what I came up with. Nothing too complicated, something very simple, something very easy that was playing in the background that I really liked. And then next after that, I sent it to another mixing channel. Then what I did for that, I took out all the low end, took out all the high end, just so it wouldn't interfere with any other sound, and then it could easily be pushed to the background. So I just left all the high mid and the mid in there. Next, I added the Fruity Love filter, just to drown it out slightly. I took down the cut knob just so it would be drowned out just slightly and muffled. Then after that, I added another EQ. I just took out a little bit more mid just so it wouldn't be so piercing. Typically, what I've noticed, if you throw on the Fruity Love filter and lower the cut knob, sounds tend to be a little bit more sharp. Even though it's supposed to be muffled, it does tend to add a little bit more sharpness and have a more of a piercing effect. So that's why I took out more mid. I didn't want it to be piercing my ears when I'm trying to listen to it. The next thing I did is I worked on the drums. think it was a very simple drum pattern, nothing too crazy, nothing too extravagant. One kick, one clap, simple hi-hat pattern, got the trick done. I know I usually like to layer my snaps and my claps and my snares, but I felt like I didn't really need that for this one all too much. I feel like this definitely should have been a very simple beat, and I kept it that way. Same goes with the 808 pattern. I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't add any 808 glides, slides, or anything like that. I just mashed them up to where the kicks were. Final sound I added was just a few guitar notes. I went to one of the GOAT plugins, one of the GOAT stock plugins FL has to offer. I went to the Flex plugin, went to the Essential Guitars, added the Ace Nylon MK1, just came up with something simple. Don't already, I highly recommend using Flex, especially for the guitar sounds. It's a stock plugin that comes only for FL, but it's very effective to me, and I use them in quite a bit of my own beats. The next thing I did with the guitar sound was I added an EQ, took out a lot of the low end and a lot of the high end, and I left in the mid and the low mid frequencies. I also added another Fruity Love filter, turned down the cut knob, and went to the effect rack and added the dark, dirty, coarse 8th sound. And that is the whole beat. And that's it for that. I want to thank you all for watching this video, and again I want to thank you all for getting my first 3 breakdown videos up to 100 views. Again, y'all never realize how much that means to me and how much I thank you guys for it. And until next time, peace.